Hey, everyone, this is Victor. I'm here with Mike. Mike is a student of mine in the mentorship program. We're going to be talking about his experience, how he did 5 deals in total, and he has 2 more under contract that he's going to be closing pretty soon. And we're all very excited about that. And we're going to share like how he did it and his entire process, all that good stuff. So appreciate it. Thanks for thanks for hopping on here, Mike.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to share your story because it's very inspiring. Because I think when we met, like you were just starting out with real estate, you hadn't done a deal yet, and then now you're off wheeling and dealing. You closed one last week. You got 2 more coming up, and yeah. Before we get into all of that, like what's your background? Like what were you doing before this?
So, I mean, currently I still have my full-time job as a fireman, paramedic. And so during the pandemic, I kind of just wanted to get into something else just because I have a little more time to do something else on the side. So that's when I started educating myself and ended up finding you through Facebook groups and connecting with you and got through your mentorship course, which helped me on my journey.
Yeah, that's awesome. So before you hadn't done any deals, and now you're doing deals, which is great. What were some like the hurdles or like questions or challenges you had in your head that was kind of holding you back from getting started?
It was mainly trying to find the money at the time and then finding the deals. I mean, it was kind of like all of it at the same time, but
Mhm.
um it was mainly like the deals and the money. And then I started as I was going through your course and just other YouTube videos and stuff, started putting together how all those work and how to
Mhm.
find your deals, how to fund your deals. And then I started doing it one by one.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think you said recently, I think we spoke last week, and you were saying like you're good on money, like you have plenty, people are offering you money, and like you have no issues there, right?
Yeah, so it's been over this course of the journey. Is I think the main thing was just kind of putting yourself out there and showing people what you're doing, and then the money will kind of show, which kind of come to you. Uh,
Hmm.
they'll see your success, and then people will want to kind of get in on your success, and that's how.
Yeah, that's a really good problem to have, where too many people are offering you too much money, type of thing. So that's fantastic. Okay, so yeah, I'd love to talk about some of these deals. So you did 5. Were they all flips? Were some of them rentals, or what was the composition there?
So yeah, I remember speaking with you about doing maybe the flip rental flip, kind of alternating to have some cash flow. So I kind of was started doing that. I ended up finding a rental first, and the rental um, that kind of helped me get up on the ground and start getting the real estate investing journey. And it was a
Mhm.
turnkey rental. I didn't have to do any work to it. It already had tenants in place. I kept them in there,
Mhm.
and started cash flowing from day one. And then after that, then I immediately went, literally like 2 months later, I started looking for a flip. I had a buddy bring me, he knew I was going to be doing real estate investing. So he ended up bringing me a deal that someone else that he knew that was selling a house on, ended up being like their father's house.
Mhm.
So it had to go through probate. And once it went through probate, had a purchase agreement and, started my first flip from there.
That's awesome. Yeah, and let's talk about this like most recent flip because it's like the freshest, and it's a really exciting one. So like, how did you the one you closed on last week? Like, how did you find it? What are the numbers if you're comfortable sharing that? But just like, what's the overview of this last one?
So the last one I found on the MLS, it was a property that was sitting on MLS for, I think it was like 130 days, and I just saw the price drops. I kept an eye on it for a couple months,
Yeah.
and it was going pending, and then not pending, and then it dropped again, and then once it dropped for like the fourth time, and then I finally had a conversation with the realtor, and he was willing to. I kind of played the whole dual agency role,
Hmm.
and which ended up working out for me because he was pushing my offer versus because they actually got higher offers than what I did than my offer, but he pushed for my offer versus the other offers.
Hmm.
And it ended up working out for me. So I ended up purchasing that property for 136,
Okay.
and we're gonna put in about 15. at the most of rehab, and already had a buyer right off the rip, and we're gonna sell it for 200.
That's amazing. That's a great spread, and like you should be closing here pretty soon because you already have a buyer,
Yeah.
and that's awesome. How did you find the buyer? Like how did that go down? Like you already knew them, or how did that like connection happen?
Yeah, so I kind of reverse engineered it with my tenants. They're my tenants in one of my properties. They were looking to buy a house, and this was last year. So they didn't end up not finding a house, so they just re-signed another lease, and their lease is coming up again. But I told them in the meantime, I said, hey, if you tell me your buying criteria, what do you want? Where do you want to live? What city? Just things that they were looking for, and then I just kind of went and looked for it. I was looking off market, and I looked on market, and that's how I ended up finding the on market deal for them. And now we're going to put in some work to it, and then sell it to them for a little profit. And they completely understand where where I'm at as a real estate investor and how I have to make money off of it and all that. That it's a business, and I think they're more excited that they're able to finally, own a home.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially because you were saying like they requested a couple repairs and you guys were able to work with them. So I think it's a win-win-win all around. Like you get to make a profit, they get to live in a house that they love, and so everyone wins. And then I think for this deal, correct me if I'm wrong, but like I think you're no money into the deal, right? Like you use other people's money for the entire thing. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so we just went hard money that funded 80% purchase and 100% of the rehab, and then we found a gap funder um, through your recommendation,
Mhm.
and then went from there. And so we only have the earnest money down. So me and my partner are in for $1,000.
Oh, okay. Pretty good. Pretty good. And you guys are going to make like 40-ish, I think, or is that
Yeah, about
like
after
30,
about
40?
40, about 40 with. So we'll have no realtor costs with this one,
Right.
obviously. So we're
Yeah.
just closing costs, and that's about it. Yeah, we should make about 40 grand.
Okay. Awesome. Beautiful. You put in one and you get out 40. I'll take that investment any day.
Oh yeah.
So that's awesome. That's great. That's, congrats. It's a great deal. And, fingers crossed it closes smooth and all that stuff. That's kind of where you are. And that's what you've been doing with all these deals. Like, how do you feel about the future of you do like more real estate? Like, are you confident and you're like wanting to do more deals? Or just how do you feel having been through everything and, where you are now?
I definitely feel more confident, doing more deals. And
Nice.
I'm like I said, now I'm at the point where I have just bought this house and I have two other houses under contract right now, and just working with the right partners and people, having all those people in place, realtors, contractors. I currently manage my own rental properties right now. So no property managers just yet, but
Mhm.
I think I'll eventually get to that point when I get to a certain number of rental properties.
Yeah.
I think it's just all about connections and partnering with the right people, and that will help you scale your business. And I remember when I was just starting out, I was kind of scared to jump into but once I jumped in, and immediately within 3 months of buying, I bought two houses,
Yeah.
and then
I remember
kind of
that.
from that
That's
from there,
crazy. Yeah.
right?
That's awesome. So what would you recommend? Like, let's say someone's just starting out, like, what would you recommend for them to do?
Definitely, do your research and look to people who have done it like yourself, that you having your help there on the back end definitely helps me, because I could always go back and reference things if I needed help on something, whether it was, finding the deal, how to fund the deal, how to connect with certain people,
Yeah.
how to talk to the motivated sellers. And that's where your course came in, even just having you in basically my back pocket, to where I can just send you a deal and you can kind of tell me or give me that reassurance that, hey, this is a good deal for you, or hey, I think this is more of a rental than a flip.
Mhm.
That definitely helps, especially like I said, gives you that reassurance that, okay, I can go that route.
I really like that because especially when you're starting out, like sometimes it helps to have like a second opinion or it helps to have someone else look at it. If you come up with the same thing and they come up with the same thing, especially when they're experienced, like myself, it's like, okay, cool, this is good. Because sometimes, especially for beginners, there's a lot of nerves and anxiety. Like, am I doing the right thing? And this just helps solve for that. So you just feel more comfortable. So you're not, losing sleep over what's a good deal.
Yeah, because I know at least for me personally, like I was afraid of losing money on my first deal,
Mm-hmm.
and that was kind of the hiccup of me jumping into the real estate thing. But I think if you're serious about doing real estate investing, I think you just have to take that leap of faith of just jumping into it and trusting the process. Or if you have a great mentor, like yourself to kind of help guide you through the process, I think you'll have no problem and you'll find success.
Like that. I like that mentality. And I mean, your worst fear didn't come true. I mean, you made a profit on your first one, so
Yeah.
that's great. Yeah. Awesome. Well, this has been really good, like just to share your story and share like your entire journey thus far. I know there's a lot more in the future for you real estate wise. Anything else you want to share? Any like insights you want to share to the folks that are, watching?
Just like I was saying before, just educate yourself and just move forward. Don't be afraid to move forward. I think that's the hang up with a lot of people that are scared to kind of move forward with investing their time and money into it. But and I have a buddy right now who I work with who wants to invest in real estate, but he's so scared, and I just
Yeah.
keep kind of telling him, just you got to just do it. And he's like, I know, I saw how you did it, and I want to do it. And I was like, you just got to do it.
Yeah.
If you're serious about it, you just got to do it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you,
exactly. You can only say it so much or explain the numbers so much, but like at a certain point, you just have to jump in, you know, jump
and
in the water.
it's a learning process. I mean, you'll learn from your mistakes. I've learned from my first flip what I need to do moving forward.
Yeah.
You got to account for like I still made money on my first flip, but I didn't account for the market shifting the way it did, which and ultimately, I lost a little bit of the sale that I, previously had. I had the ARV at a certain mark, and then the market dipped, and I had to sell it lower. I still made money, but I thought I was going to make more money. But just accounting for that type of stuff, counting for your repairs, accurately doing your repair estimates, and that's where you come in. Especially with you have that Rehab Estimator Pro program that I've taken a look at. That it's actually a real good help, and adding your reserves. And I feel like you should always have a little bit more than what you budget for,
Yeah.
because if you have that extra, then you already had it there. And if you don't and use less, even better.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, especially like almost always like you go over budget. So just to have that little extra buffer where it's not like a tight deal where it's like, oh, if I go over budget on my repairs by $1,000, then I lose money. That's not a good place to be in. Like you want to have that buffer, which you learn firsthand, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you'll learn every mistake. You'll learn from it from the first one.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Well, appreciate you hopping on. Thanks for sharing a story. Yeah, this has been great. I hope it's been inspirational for everyone as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I hope I can inspire people to get into real estate investing, and I think they will not, and it would not be a bad choice for them.
Awesome. Cool. We'll see you.